After the Navy, I came home to marry my high school sweetheart and start a family. We've learned compromise is critical. Congress is no different. I'm Nick LaLota. Taking on extremists in both parties, I've worked across the aisle to lower costs, restore our assault deduction, secure the border, end cashless bail, and empower Suffolk cops. That's why I'm ranked one of the most bipartisan members of Congress. I'm Nick LaLota, and I approve this message. I'll keep fighting problems, not people, to make Long Island safe and affordable.
Move with the rhythm. Shake it up, stop when the clock hits 13. Sing 1, 2, 3, 4. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it.
It's one of the games that you circle at the start of the season. Two perennial powerhouses under the lights at Cy Donnelly Field. Stepinac looking for their first win, and St. Anthony's looking to go back-to-back with victories for the first time this season. It's Stepinac, it's St. Anthony's, it's all live right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Today's broadcast is sponsored by Blaze Pizza. At Blaze Pizza, it's the best place to grab a fast-fired pizza made with delicious ingredients and 35-plus toppings to choose from. On the menu at your local Blaze Pizza, we offer gluten-free, keto, and vegan options to satisfy any craving. Choose any of our signature pizzas or build your own. At Blaze Pizza, there's no wrong way to play. And we welcome you inside the booth here at Cy Donnelly Field. Dylan Butler alongside Kevin Dolan. And Kev, in college football, there's a great debate. Is the best atmosphere Ohio State? Is it Michigan? Is it Notre Dame? Is it maybe Penn State? In the Catholic High School Football League, there is no debate. It is St. Anthony's on a Friday night. Certainly, it's going to be a terrific atmosphere. Two teams that are looking for a W here tonight.
Any Friday night in the Catholic League, especially AAA football, is a big night. But here at St. Anthony's, it is electric. When I was standing on that far side as a visitor, you could feel the energy in this place. And it's just a wonderful, wonderful time. And I look at all these people that are here for football, here for friendship, here for causes. We're going to be in for a treat tonight, Dylan.
I think so. First time under the lights this year at home for St. Anthony's. Obviously, their first game of the year at on a Saturday afternoon against Chaminade, losing that home opener. But St. Anthony's, they've done a good job, and we'll get to those guys in a moment, but they've done a good job of responding from adversity. Each of their two losses this year at home to Chaminade, against Don Bosco, they bounced back with wins. But first, let's talk about Stepinac. Listen, if you did not follow them this year at all, and you look and you say, wait a minute, they're 0-4, they're down this year. But then you have to look at the schedule. A murderer's row of opponents this year. They had to go to Maryland twice. McDonough, a Spalding team that's top 10 in the country. Oh, by the way, St. Joe's Regional under Augie Hoffman, which is much improved from last year. And then their rival, Iona Prep, on the road at home. So these guys right now, they are the definition, Kev, of battle-tested. So this atmosphere tonight, this occasion, will not be too big for the Crusaders.
The culture that Mike O'Donnell and his staff have built at Stepinac is a no-quit culture. 2018, this team was 0-4. We had beat them 7-6 up at Stepinac that year when I was at Chaminade. They came out of that, won the next 7 games and the state championship. This is a big, but let's not get ourselves wrong here. This is a big night for Stepinac. They need to find out, can we compete?
Yeah, 21 college are current college players from last year's senior class. So even the seniors and juniors in this team, they're young because a lot of these guys didn't have a lot of experience, but they do have some gamers. They do have some big-time ballers. Let's take a look at a couple of them right now, Kev, as we look at our players to watch, brought to you by Blaze Pizza. On the left side, he is Mr. Dynamic. This is the guy you want to get him into space. Zaire Spellman, you see his numbers on the season. On the other side, your middle linebacker, Andrew Waters. He'll play a big role trying to stop Xavier Bala and the running and Gary Merrill as well for St. Anthony's.
Zaire has that special ability to change speeds in real time on the field, creates separation, gets himself open, and he stays open. Andrew's just got ball hawk. He knows how to get his nose on the play, on the ball, very aggressive, and I think his biggest attribute is his leadership out there.
Yeah, missed some time this year, Waters has, because of an AC joint sprain, but you knew Friday night in South Huntington he was going to be ready to go. And
nobody's missing this one, Dylan.
That is for sure.
Oh, man.
So those are the guys to lead the way for Archbishop Stepinac, for St. Anthony's. As you mentioned, listen, they start the year with a loss to their rival in Chaminade here at Cy Donnelly. They bounced back. They went up to Rochester. They beat a talented U Prep team. Then they play in the Battle of the Bridge. They go to Don Bosco Prep and get handed a difficult defeat. But then they go to another great atmosphere, to the Lions Den in Staten Island, and they beat Farrell, which is a big momentum boost for this group coming into this one.
This is a character check. This season, like, St. Anthony's is showing people the kind of character that they have. You're never down. They keep coming back. They keep bouncing back. And I'll tell you what, you talk about that Rochester game, you take, I don't know how many guys are on this roster. Let's say there's 70. You take 70 guys, 6.5 hours all the way to upstate New York, staying in a hotel. They knock off that team. These are kids that are focused on what they need to get done.
Another reason why this is one of the best atmospheres. You get the bagpipers coming out, leading the team onto the field. How cool is that? When we look at the players to watch for St. Anthony's, and these players to watch also brought to you by Blaze Pizza. Receiving-wise, Will Hart has played a big role. And listen, we talked about Zaire Spellman. You know who's going to see a lot of Zaire Spellman today? Kevin Moore.
Yeah. Will Hart, you know, he's that athletic quarterback that just can extend plays. It is never over with him. He knows how to get out there. He knows where his receivers are, and he can run with the ball. Kevin Moore, another kid, just, you know, the defensive guy that you love. Just has a nose for the ball and a dogged pursuit at all times.
So those are your impact players, and you see in white there Joe Minucci right behind the bagpipers as the Friars. Traditional, right? Wearing the all black at home. Minucci, once upon a time, did just that, right? 6th season as head coach. Looks like he could still get out there and play on that line. A 1999 graduate here of St. Anthony's, also the athletic director here as well.
You know, when you watch Joe Coach Minucci out there with his kids, you can just see how they respond to him. They make eye contact with him. They are not intimidated by him. They respect him. And, you know, that's the big building blocks of leadership.
And Minucci tonight goes against the dean of Catholic High School Football League coaches, Michael O'Donnell. There you see him, 37th season. A 1978 graduate of Blessed Sacrament, his 45th year overall in this program. You don't talk about Archbishop Stepinac and their growth from an A program to the AAA without talking about Michael O'Donnell.
You know, and I was just chatting with Mike about that out in the field, how I never realized until I was in this league that Stepinac is really a mom and pop shop. It's a very small school with not a lot of administration, and Mike has been there from the beginning. And we're not just talking about football, we're talking about all the academic pursuits of the school, every activity. He bleeds blue and red.
And he's also, like Minucci, the athletic director at Archbishop Stepinac. So there's a good look at Coach O.D. texted him this morning about 10. I was like, did you guys leave yet? It's a long trip from White Plains here, obviously. Kev, let's take a look at some of the keys to this game for both of these teams.
You know, containing Gary Merrill is really, really important. You got a kid that loves to extend plays. If you look at St. Anthony's, in their game against Chaminade, when they scored, it was big plays. Stepinac needs to stop that. And I was down on that field looking at those Stepinac receivers. There are some good-looking athletes out there. They got to get that ball out there and make St. Anthony's do the hardest thing to do in football. That's tackle an open field. Offensively, St. Anthony's, big offensive line. You got some big dogs out there, and they're getting better every week. Same thing on defense, stopping that Stepinac run. And special teams, if this turns out to be the game we hope it is, always comes down to field position and special teams.
It is Archbishop Stepinac. It is St. Anthony's. We're under the lights in South Huntington. Opening kickoff when we return right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Move with the rhythm. Shake it up, stop when the clock hits 13. Sing 1, 2, 3, 4. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it.
After the Navy, I came home to marry my high school sweetheart and start a family. We've learned compromise is critical. Congress is no different. I'm Nick Lalota. Taking on extremists in both parties, I've worked across the aisle to lower costs, restore our assault deduction, secure the border, end cashless bail, and empower Suffolk cops. That's why I'm ranked one of the most bipartisan members of Congress. I'm Nick Lalota, and I approve this message. I'll keep fighting problems, not people, to make Long Island safe and affordable.
At St. Francis Hart Center, we're not just regional heart experts. We share our greater success with the world. We don't just pioneer technology. We do it more than anywhere on Greater Long Island. And we don't just win awards. We deliver greater outcomes for people like you. As New York's only specialty designated cardiac center, we're not satisfied with just being good. This is Long Island. This is St. Francis Hart Center. And greater lives here.
Varsity Media is now opening up our schedule to any teams looking to be on a sportscast. Watching yourself on camera is okay, but hearing your name on a Varsity Media sportscast is like you're a pro.
And look at this opportunity. Feldman behind. Jersey pulled. Feldman! Feldman!
Here comes the 1-0. Hit on the ground at first. Twins up with it. Feeds to Varela. It's a no-hitter! And Division's moving on. Nassau County AA champions.
As West barks out the signal. West is going to keep it himself inside the 5 to the goal line. Touchdown! Touchdown, Southside.
Varsity Media offers sportscast coverage for any sport, and our coverage airs live and on demand so everyone can watch the game. Now is the time to be a star on Varsity Media. Contact us to book a sportscast today at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Welcome back to Cy Donnelly Field here in South Huntington. Dylan Butler, Kevin Dolan, our entire Varsity Media crew for a Friday night showdown in the Catholic High School Football League. There you see Joe Minucci and his captains. We're getting ready for the coin flip for this one. Always an anticipated battle. And when we spoke with these coaches leading in, you know, a lot of these games have come right down to the very end. A field goal, maybe that goes off the goalpost, that gets blocked. Remember two years ago, up in Stepinac, it was Ian Strong with a blocked field goal, brings it back, and that was a difference where St. Anthony's ended up being the number 1 seed and beating Iona Prep that year to win the Catholic Football League championship.
And you know, Dylan, that's where we kind of left off on the keys to win the game. special teams. And even without those big events, the blocked field goals and the run backs and the hitting the pipes, field position. This is going to be a huge field position day. And neither of these teams can afford to give each other field position between the 40s on first down.
You see in that huddle, number 6, that's Cam Urso, the leader of this defense, still injured, probably out for a couple more weeks, got injured at the end of that UPrep game. Big loss for St. Anthony's, but as always, it's a next man up situation. St. Anthony's won the toss. They deferred, though, to the second half. So it'll be Stepinac with the ball first. As you see, our referee. We know we're in good hands. It's Chris Atchison to lead the way. We also know it's a big game.
Huge game tonight. Huge game with a lot of implications. As I was mentioning earlier, Stepinac's going to figure out who exactly are we. Can we compete this season? For Anthony's, the effects of this game are going to have huge implications down in the seedings towards the end of the season.
We take a look at who these teams were last year, Kev, real quick before the opening kickoff. And St. Anthony's, or Stepinac, first a year ago, 8-3 on the season. They had 21 guys go on and play college football. Will Currid now in the Ivy League at Brown. Sam Madhu, he's at Minnesota. Deontay Douglas as well, all part of that. But you see the key returnees. DJ Williams, we'll talk about him. It's nice to have a Boston College guy on your line. Spellman and Garrison Heslop, part of that great Heslop name up in White Plains.
And I think with that mom and pop mentality that I was talking about, these young guys learned a lot from Will and Sam and Deontay last year. And let's see if they can bring it out tonight.
So St. Anthony's, they will go from right to left on your screen.
DiGregorio to kick off.
And Liam DiGregorio set to kick off. Deep for Stepinac.
Garcia deep for Stepinac.
Garcia and Thomas, part of Spellman's 4x400 relay team that went to nationals. You think there's speed out on that team, and that's a good decision, I think.
Yeah.
When you're facing that kind of speed, you kick it short and you deal with the field position as it comes. So it'll be Stepinac ball at about the 36-yard line. And Kev, we spoke about Will Currid. This is a guy that was not penciled in a big marker, the lefty, for 3 years. You haven't had to worry about a different quarterback in this situation, and that's difficult shoes. But Mason Hoover, he's not asked to be Will Currid.
No, he's just got to be who he is. He's got to manage the game, move the chains.
See some of those numbers on the year for him. 467 yards, 2 touchdowns. As Stepinac will start from their own 36-yard line. Handoff on play number 1. And that looked like that was Zaire Spellman pushing forward. Let's meet the starters for Archbishop Stepinac. Jesse Osborne, Zaire Spellman, Jordan Eaton, Max Oliveri, and Richie DeMarco up front. You've got Kempo Walker, as well as your center, Sacaliario. On the right side, that's where your beef is, in Ethan Whitehead and DJ Williams. Second and about 3. Fumble! And jumping on the football is Hoover, and that's been a little bit of the issue to date for Stepinac. Let's meet the starting defense for St. Anthony's. You mentioned some injuries. That means that Andrew Thompson, usually a linebacker, he's on your line. Violante Garcia, your linebackers are Drew, Kosha, Kelton, Shevlin. Corners, McDonald and Riley. Your safeties are Moore and Rooney. So a loss of about 4 on that play. It looks like it's a 3rd and about 8. Over the middle, that's an incomplete pass. So that fumble, Kevin, on second down really came back to hurt Stepinac, and now they'll have to punt.
And it was such an unfortunate fumble for Stepinac because you watched the offensive line on that play completely compress the St. Anthony's front.
Dimitri Separitis is your punter.
Separitis on to punt for Stepinac.
He also is your kicker. Looks like deep is more for St. Anthony's. This is a short punt. Will take a bounce and will be downed just about the 30-yard line. And when we talk, Kevin, about dynamic quarterbacks, there's a good one up at Cardinal Hayes, no doubt. But listen, these guys here, they love what Gary Merrill has done, coming off a monster game against Monsignor Farrell.
There's nothing not to love about Gary. I mean, you could see how the kids flock to him, how they hang on all his words, and his level of athleticism is outstanding. Huge defensive stop, by the way, open up this game by St. Anthony's.
And Gary Merrill, Joe Minucci said, you look beyond the stats last week at Farrell. It was just the way that he led his team. Just an absolute beast, he said. Quick out. In fact, that was to Hart, but good pursuit to the football by the Stepinac defense. Let's meet the starters offensively for St. Anthony's. In addition to Merrill, it's Xavier Bala. You got Russo, Taylor, Kenner, and Hart at receivers up front. Dowling, Groenveld, McNaughton, Burke, and Chanchuli. A loss of 2 on first down for the Friars. Merrill, time, finds a man, and that is complete. That's Johnny Russo, and he'll get the first down.
That was an act of bravery by Johnny Russo. He knew he was going to get clobbered coming off of that catch. Great job. Watch this. Look at the time that we get. Heck of a catch. Way to secure the ball. Outstanding job by Johnny.
9th reception on the year. Here's Merrill. The option. And he gets past the 50. Taken down at about the 49. Let's meet the Stepinac defense now. Their starting defense. Up front, it's Ginyard, Murray, and Sukulik. Ramos, Tarilli, Waters, and Austin are your linebackers. Heslop and Jean Marie at the corners. Hardy and Morris at the safety positions. Handoff coming this way. And that was a short gain. As it was Bala.
On that last pass play, you see, I'll tell you what, Billy Dowling is giving a clinic out here on how to play offensive line. This left tackle, look at the size of this kid. He's the captain of this team, 6'3", 275. What a blocker.
So Bala gets the first down. Or at the Stepinac 47. This St. Anthony's first drive, they held Stepinac to 3 and out on their first drive. Here's Merrill. Never got the football out of the mitts, and then a whole host of Crusaders coming in. You saw Julian Ramos, 15. Also Adrian Sukulik, 55.
Great defensive call by Stepinac and a very, very smart play by Gary. Gary's here. He gets immediate pressure. You know what? Thinks better of it. Let's live to play another down.
So Eddie Keeler there as well, 83. The junior from Connecticut. He was the first one there. Little trickery by the Friars. Into space. And you get a lot of those yards back now as you get to about the Stepinac 40-yard line. That was Mancaruso.
Funny what you see here. You're going to see Julian Ramos. He smells a rat. He sees what's going on. But the fake and just having the patience to run this play properly turns up big for St. Anthony's. Look at all these yards they bring back.
Yeah, Mancaruso from Holtzville was on the JV a year ago. One of a few high-level lacrosse guys. Bala pushes forward. It looks like he'll be just short of that first down marker. And now you're in that position on the field where if you play the game of field position, you can certainly pin Stepinac deep. But I feel like this is one where it's not necessarily a high gamble if you go for it, and that's what St. Anthony's will do here. Let's see if maybe there's some cadence here from Merrill trying to draw him offside. Was not the case. You go to Bala. Bala pushes forward, and that's the strength. I said it earlier this year, but Xavier Bala, Kev, at 6 foot 210, looks nothing like a sophomore.
No, he got his pads down there, and he look at this. Look at him get his pads down. Looks like a quarterback sneak. Everybody's banging inside. Bang, leg drive.
And look at this, up the middle. Merrill breaks 2 tackles, spins, continues, and he's finally forced out of bounds. He took on about half the Stepinac defense by himself.
And that's good for another St. Anthony's first down.
So, Kev, the Friars are cooking on this first drive in the red zone.
Friday nights at St. Anthony's, Dylan, it creates a lot of energy of its own.
High snap, Merrill, no problem. Takes it himself, a little juke, pushes forward, and he gets down inside the 5-yard line.
Early was there first for Stepinac.
That's some of the athleticism as well, right, from Gary Merrill. And how often do you see a quarterback, they shy away some of them from, he wants that, he brings that contact to the defense.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, and you know what? Here we go.
Bala cuts it inside. The push as well towards the end zone.
Bala on the carry.
No signal, and he'll be short of the goal line.
All these multi-sport athletes, Dylan, they bring so much to the game. I made a living on on coaching football with lacrosse players. They just bring a lot of different attributes to the game.
First and goal, and Merrill. There you go. Get behind the big boys and into the end zone. Touchdown, St. Anthony's.
Yep, St. Anthony's is here tonight. They came to make a statement. They did. It started out with that defensive stance. And it continued with that 4th and 1 decision by Coach Minucci and the boys getting that first down. Here we are, 6-0.
Nick Zenk is your long snapper. Mikey Riley to hold. The PAT by Michael Forrest is up, and it's good, and it's 7-0 for St. Anthony's. But did you see on that touchdown, who did Merrill go behind? His center, Ryan McNaughton, 5'11", 250, 3-year varsity player at center. That's a good guy to follow here, right?
Yeah, look at this. Look at that leg drive. Those feet keep moving. You know what? Where did they get that? That from the lonely days of football in that weight room in January, February, March, and April. That's where that effort comes from.
And now they hang out together on the bench. That's nice.
He better. He better keep those guys happy. Maybe get some Blaze pizza down there for those boys.
There you go. So 7-0 for St. Anthony's. As Merrill and the offense, now they'll watch the film and look back at what they saw on that first drive.
Going to be interesting to see what St. Anthony's decides to do on this kickoff. Do they now go for field position and take the chance of kicking it to these two speedsters, or do they kick it short?
And you mentioned what a big game it is for Stepinac, and it's not hyperbole to say it's already getting to be crunch time. They need to respond in a positive way after that 0-4 start and some lopsided defeats at that. Kev, let's take a look at we're already in week 5. How is this possible? Here's some of the games. Farrell and Hayes, that's going to be a fun one as well. I think that's over at Columbia, Fordham Prep, St. Joe's C, St. Peter's and Kellenberg, Baptist, Iona, Xaverian, Spellman, CTK, and Mount. Battle on Long Island here, Holy Trinity, Chaminade, Holy Cross, Xavier, Kennedy Catholic, St. Dom's, and Moore Catholic, and St. Francis Prep. Another terrific weekend in the Catholic High School Football League. Hoover, hands off. That's Jesse Osborne. And Osborne gets a few. If the last name sounds familiar, yes, his brother Jordan was a big running back for this Stepinac team and played a really big role last year as well in Stepinac's win over St. Anthony's up in White Plains. 56-35 in that one. Jordan Osborne, how about this? 21 carries, 175 yards and 2 touchdowns, as well as a 29-yard receiving touchdown. Trips right for Stepinac. Hoover over the middle, finds Spellman, breaks a tackle, and he's pulled down inside St. Anthony's territory.
I'll tell you, Dylan, you go back to that first series, back in the first possession by Stepinac, that fumble just killed them. They had some run going. Great run fake. Excellent extension. Secure that football, guys. Secure that football.
Zaire Spellman, interest from Stony Brook, URI, Wagner. A week ago in that loss to Iona, 2 dynamic acrobatic catches. Osborne gets it to the outside. Gets a couple on first down.
Osborne on the carry.
Osborne, 42 carries, 217 yards and a touchdown this year,
Second down and 8 from
but
41.
has had a little bit of difficulty securing the football this year. And we could see from that first drive that's not a singular issue to this point for Stepinac.
And you go through times like that where you get the fumbleitis going on. You know, they can work, kids will work through that.
Spellman, incomplete, says Chris Atchison, but how about that pursuit to the football? You again, the key for Stepinac, right, is getting their athletes into space, and that's what you're trying to do for Spellman, but that was read so well by St. Anthony's.
And you'll see this. One of the things I've always said about St. Anthony's, whether they're real strong on defense or not, they rally to the football. You can tell it's something Coach Minucci and his staff preach every single day.
And that was Kevin Moore. So as we mentioned in the open, those 2 impact players going mano-a-mano this evening. So a 3rd and 8 now for Stepinac. Hoover. Flushed out. Flag on the play. Gets towards the St. Anthony sideline. Incomplete. And we'll put our eyes now on Chris Atchison, our referee for this game, and I think this is one's going to come back. Now, of course, the decision, I guess, right? If you're Joe Minucci, do you accept the penalty or do you take the 4th and 8?
You know, if I'm Joe, I accept the penalty. Let's move them back a little bit here because this is 4th down territory for Stepinac.
So it was a holding penalty, but it was declined.
Brings up 4th down.
So it's 4th down, and looks like the punting unit will come on for Stepinac. So they'll look to play field position here and maybe force the Friars into a long field. Sapasarius is your punter. Anthony Tarilli, long snapper. Nearly blocked, but it does angle out exactly where he wants it to be. So from that near disaster, you pin him inside the 10.
Yeah, that was a lot closer than anybody at Stepinac wanted that one to be. But as you said, great players make big plays.
We showed you Stepinac's season a year ago and at a glance, and this is St. Anthony's this year. Listen, this is the 3 versus 4 preseason ranked teams, of course. KJ Duff playing right now at Rutgers, scoring touchdowns. Alex Mengi, he's now at Stony Brook. Preston Carey at IMG Academy. But when you got Merrill, Moore, and Urso, the law firm, you feel pretty good about yourselves at St. Anthony's. And here is Merrill. And when you're getting the football from your own end zone, the first thing you want to do, right, Kev, is get away from your own end zone.
Oh, yeah.
So Merrill does a good job, but look at this. He looks like he comes up a little bit limp here.
Yeah, something tells me he's going to shake that off. He's having a night tonight.
So something to watch here. Merrill, he'll hand off. There's Bala, and there's really good pursuit. You mentioned St. Anthony's pursuit to the football, but you had hats to the ball there. Good job defensively by Stepinac.
Andrew Waters, what a contact tackle right there. Way to get downhill.
Yeah, Waters, 23 tackles on the year, the leader of this defense, strong downhill guy. And now he sets up a 3rd and 2. Hand off, a little bit of reversal. There's a flag on the play. It was Bala on the run.
Great movement by Stepinac up front. They were slanting hard to the field. Everybody had their heads up. Huge play by the defense.
And O'Donnell said, I saw you, Minucci. I will also decline this holding penalty. We won't let your athletes have another chance at it, and you'll be forced to punt from near your own end zone. There's Coach O.D., the legend in this Catholic high school football league. Amazing, too. A program that started at the A level, right? And now you've got 3 state titles, 4 AAA championships, 2 AA and 1 A title. Good looking punt. Look at this. It backs up Spellman, who had a call for the fair catch and picks it up at about his own 39-yard line.
And a great play. I mean, that ball was going to roll another 20 yards. That was a heads-up play and not an easy play for him to make. You know, earlier off-air we were talking about Coach Krummenacker and his accomplishments and his 300th win this weekend. Coach O'Donnell, same type of character as Coach Krummenacker, just never too good to be talking to anybody around him, always great with young coaches. He looks to do what's best for Catholic League football, and you have to appreciate that.
Coach O.D., in our conversation this week, their last championship was in 2018, and you referred to it before. They lost their first 3 games of the year, and that's what he's saying to his guys. And a lot of these guys, they're not used to 3 losses in a season, never mind 4 to start this season. And he's saying, listen, we've done this before. It's not impossible. That's Spellman, but he was eaten up. Parker McDonald, you see 10 among the tacklers for the Friars.
Big insert by number 33, John Drew.
And Drew, the junior from East Northport, starting at linebacker tonight, 2nd and 9. Coming towards this sideline, but another flag is thrown. That was John Smith. We'll likely see a triumvirate of running backs. In addition to Jesse Osborne, we'll see a lot of John Smith. We'll see a lot of Troy Baker as well. And that is a hold on the offense. And those are penalties that, listen, it's hard enough to make the trip from White Plains on a Friday night to South Huntington, but it gets even harder for OD and his staff when you get these kind of penalties.
And it's another example of, and again, you know, Step is working out some things right now with their football team. That fumble earlier in the first possession, anytime you're losing yardage, you're hurting yourself. Fumbles, tip balls, penalties. Hard to win a championship with those.
Empty backfield for Hoover. 2nd and 19. Pressure comes, though. Hoover chased, comes sideline, just slings it up, nearly intercepted. That was an acrobatic play by Parker McDonald. But how about the pursuit there as well?
It was intended for DeMarco.
Let's watch it again, Kev.
Oh, yeah. Quite an athletic play by that big defensive lineman.
I think it might have been Dixon Charzu.
Yeah, Dixon Charzu. You know, you got a guy that's 290 pounds chasing around a speedster. Doesn't let him out of the bag. Outstanding job.
3rd and 19. Empty backfield again. Hoover under pressure. Dumps it underneath to Spellman. Spins away from the first tackler, but he's taken down short of even the initial line of scrimmage.
With the stop for the Friars, brings up a 4th down.
It's a great call. It's a great call. It's a great play. It was actually well executed. The problem is that we're still making up yardage from fumbles and penalties, and that's what we need to stay away from.
First quarter in the books, and it's St. Anthony's with a 7-0 lead. You're watching this Catholic Football League showdown right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Going, Israel Bonikunda, running back for the New York Jets, and you're watching Varsity Media.
Move with the rhythm. Shake it up, stop when the clock hits 13. Sing 1, 2, 3, 4. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it.
Back here at Cy Donnelly Field, start of the second quarter. St. Anthony's a 7-0 lead. Punt for Stepinac, and another really good one. This one fielded by Kevin Moore. And listen, a lot of times, right, we said in the beginning, special teams will be key for Stepinac. And if you're getting stopped, if you could flip the field like you can with a punter and a kicker like they have, it's a huge advantage.
The guy who's making the difference here for Stepinac, they're not blocking anybody. They're letting these guys come in. They're doing it on purpose for coverage. Is this long snapper? I got to get this young man's name. He is doing one heck of a job.
Yeah, that's Anthony Turilli.
Anthony
is
Turilli.
your long snapper on the punt.
He's what's getting this done tonight.
So St. Anthony's.
1st and 10 Friars from the 33.
1st and 10 from their own 33-yard line. Again, there's some trickery for the Friars. We saw that in the first quarter. This time the ball went to Jake Johnston. Johnston from nearby Melville.
Is there on the stop for Stepinac.
Got about 6.
Down and 2 from the 40.
Actually got about 8, we'll call it, on first down. Gary Merrill, a 1-yard touchdown. The difference right now between these two perennial powerhouses in the Catholic League. Here's Merrill getting the push, and he'll get the first down.
Interesting play right there. You know, it's become a very popular play in the college levels. You're seeing it leak down to the high schools. It's a quarterback draw, but it's a read. And they see if the defense makes any adjustments with these motions.
Friars from the 44.
Trips right for the Friars. Merrill goes that way. Airs it out. And that's incomplete, but there's a late flag as well. It was Johnston who was the intended target.
For Johnston, the coverage was by G. Marie.
Let's see what Atchison has here. It'll be a defensive holding penalty against Stepinac.
Boy, that hurts. That hurts Stepinac real bad. Look at these guys sprinting out into the open. Merrill has plenty of time. Great coverage by Stepinac. That hold hurt.
And that moves the chains into Stepinac territory for St. Anthony's.
There will be 1st and 10 Friars from the 46-yard line.
Merrill fakes the handoff, finds Mancaruso, but going nowhere. How about Ethan Morris stepping up with that tackle?
Got by number 6, Ethan Morris.
The hardest thing to do in football is open field tackling. Look at the way Ethan Morris steps in here, engages, closes the distance. Beautiful tackle.
Yeah, that was textbook by the senior. 22nd tackle of the year. Vastly improved this season. Merrill over the middle, has a man. Touchdown, St. Anthony's. Will Hart. We mentioned him at the beginning. He was going to be one of our impact players. What a big impact Maryland Hart made on this play.
This is an RPO play. Everybody knows who's going to be the first look in the pass, but Merrill looks down the field to the secondary look, and this kid's wide open. Great patience by our quarterback. Excellent finish by Hart. Wonderful play.
So on for the PAT, Michael Forrest, Nick Zank, the long snapper, and Mikey Riley is your holder. Hold the phone. False start against the offense.
False start against the Friars.
So this will back St. Anthony's up a few more yards.
Big points, these extra points. You don't want to fool around with them. A couple of NFL games were decided this weekend by extra points.
Kick is up, and it is good. So the Friars take a 14-0 lead, courtesy of this fast-fired touchdown from Blaze Pizza. Join Blaze Rewards to get access to exclusive rewards and earn flames for free pizza, cheesy bread, and more. Join now at blazepizza.com or download the Blaze Pizza app in the App Store. Merrill to Hart, and Hart his 4th touchdown of the season.
Once again, you see this RPO look. He's looking everybody off to the sideline. They slip Hart right down the middle of the field. Beautifully executed play. That play is a really difficult play to run, and St. Anthony's ran it picture perfect.
49-yard touchdown for the Friars. They extend their lead to 14-0.
Okay, it's decision time right now, Dylan, for Stepinac. You're dealing with teenagers. You don't want to get caught up in the drama. It was a long trip out here. You're down 14-0. It's at this point they got to put their foot down and make something happen.
And this one is a long kick, fielded, but the returner in Thomas was down. And we mentioned this incredible schedule that Stepinac played, and Coach O.D. said it flatly, like it's very difficult to find non-league opponents. So you've got McDonough and Spalding, and he could only judge from a few years ago, right? And St. Anthony's had a competitive game there, but you can see 40-14, 38-0, and then a much improved St. Joe's regional team. And the one that is, what did he say? It's a punch that you feel for a few days. That one at home to Iona Prep.
And it was the thing that stressed me out the most at Chaminade was finding these non-league games. You want to find the right team. You don't want to be in the position where you're trying to dress up losses. Not easy, and that is one burner of a schedule.
Yeah, 4 of the best teams probably in the Northeast that you can play consecutively. And now, oh, by the way, you have to come out to St. Anthony's on a Friday night as well in game number 5. And Coach O.D. of Spelman said, I've not seen a better football team in person in my life. Like, they're top 10 in the country.
Yeah. And one of the teams on his schedule, McDonough, I believe, who's not ranked in the nation, was as good as the rest of them.
Spellman in motion. Handoff goes to Osborne.
Osborne on the carry.
I'll tell you, Dylan, you watch this offensive line closely. They are very, very good. I think Stepinac needs to make a decision here, and they need to try to continue. I know they're trying to play catch-up, but stick with this run game. Control the clock. Let's make St. Anthony's play a little bit more defense out here than they have already, and keep gaining yards.
Yeah, sustained drive would really do them wonders. especially one that obviously ends up in the end zone. There's Hoover trying to get around to the outside. He's taken down at the 40-yard line. Julian Kosha with the tackle, but that was good enough of a run for Hoover to get a first down.
That was a big tackle by Julian. There was a lot of grass behind him, and he was trying to play a little bit of everything on that play.
1st and 10 from the 29.
Spellman again in motion. Goes around Hoover. Handoff up the middle. And a couple more yards gained for Stepinac. That time it was John Smith.
Great.
5'7", 157. Had a really good game, and that loss to Spalding played really well against obviously one of the top teams in the country.
Great block on that last play by Rodney Walker.
So 3 more yards. Handoff again. And Kev, it seems like they're hearing you up in the booth because there's another handoff, another one by Smith.
And I think right now Mason is just, Anthony's is showing him a lot of different looks on these RPO reads. Mason's having a little bit, he's starting to get comfortable of when to pull the ball. On that last play, if he pulled that ball, he's got a nice soft corner, and I'm sure that's something that the Stepinac coaches will be speaking to him about when he gets to the sideline.
3rd and 7. Stepinac desperately needs to move the chains again. Trips right. I thought there might have been some movement, and there was. And that was right on that sideline as one of those speedsters went early. It was Spellman who was the culprit, and another killer penalty for Stepinac.
Yeah, you can see the Stepinac coaching staff a little exasperated with the penalties.
3rd and 12. Hoover ducks under pressure. He's going to tuck it under and run and slides just shy of the 40. Did he get to the first down marker, though? I think he was just shy. And that's unfortunate for Hoover because he did have some space there to maybe get a couple more yards and get that first down.
All right, Friar fans, let's make some noise again.
You saw there was Anthony Sanchez who was in pursuit, number 9 for the Friars. So it's a 4th and 1, and it'll be a timeout called by Stepinac, and we'll take it with them as well. 6:31 left, first half. St. Anthony's 14-0 over Stepinac right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Navy, I came home to marry my high school sweetheart and start a family. We've learned compromise is critical. Congress is no different. I'm Nick Lalota. Taking on extremists in both parties, I've worked across the aisle to lower costs, restore our assault deduction, secure the border, end cashless bail, and empower Suffolk cops. That's why I'm ranked one of the most bipartisan members of Congress. I'm Nick Lalota, and I approve this message. I'll keep fighting problems, not people, to make Long Island safe and affordable.
Back here at Cy Donnelly Field. Dylan Butler, Kevin Dolan, our entire Varsity Media crew, and the punting unit back on. And as you mentioned, Anthony Turilli has been an all-star at long snapper, and Dimitri Saparidis has been excellent as well as your punter. 95 gets out, angles it, gets it high arcing, and another fair catch is called for St. Anthony's and Kevin Moore. We showed you the Stepinac schedule. Moore showing some athleticism there, jumping over the bench. And here's what it looks like for St. Anthony's. Again, they started the season at home with that rivalry loss to Chaminade. Then a win up against the UPrep, a loss at Bosco, win against Farrell. Again, you follow it up with Iona Prep next week. But after that, the traffic starts to not get so tight, right? I mean, not to downplay Xavier St. John the Baptist or Kellenberg, but certainly winnable games for the Friars after a very difficult opening 6 games.
And there's a top and a bottom of every schedule. You know, finishing up this year, going up to the South Bronx is going to be tough.
I think that might be at Upper Manhattan. I think up in Columbia.
That's it. Yep, at Upper Manhattan.
Yeah, not, I think, fortunately for everyone involved, that rooftop across from Yankee Stadium.
It's a great place to play. The field is a little askew, but you look over your shoulder and you're watching the Yankee Stadium.
And there was movement there as well before. So this will back up the Friars 5 yards. That's not a bad secondary option, right? Like you could walk if you're some of the Hazemen from the Grand Concourse over there to Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
But it's not too bad, right, if you can go to Columbia and play your home games, and that's the situation right now for Cardinal Hayes. Injured Crusader down. That's why we have a stoppage here. And, you know, one other thing that Coach O.D. mentioned, not only do you lose 21 guys of your senior class who are now playing college football, but also you lose 3 of your coaches from last year's staff, all guys who went on and they got head coaching jobs as well. So, of course, we know Tom Claro coaching at Chaminade, his alma mater. And then also, you know, you've got others as well who went on. You've got Joe Venice at Yonkers Force, John Murphy now at Greenwich Country Day. So when you've got a bunch of young players, but now you also have some new members of your coaching staff as well.
Yeah, and it's a growing period too. And what a tribute to Coach O'Donnell. These guys, they come in as assistant coaches, work on his staff, move on to more responsibility at different schools, but there's always somebody filling in, waiting for their turn.
Yeah, John DeMarco, his defensive coordinator, Greg Sanzari, the assistant DC, by the way, a St. Anthony's alum. Andy Martinez, he's your run game coordinator on the offense. Merrill calls his own number, pumps it up the field, breaks a couple of tackles before he's pulled down at about the 43-yard line.
Boy, Gary is playing like a possessed man tonight. He is high energy. He is being physical. He's doing everything he has to do. What a quarterback.
We mentioned beginning, right? Like you've got Rich Beelan up in Hayes, who is awesome at doing a lot of the things that Merrill does as well at that dual threat quarterback. Merrill. Pump fakes, goes over the middle, another completion, and another one for Hart. Pumps the brakes, cuts inside defenders, still on his feet. Hart dives towards the pylon. Touchdown, St. Anthony's.
Get that kid a piece of pizza. He needs a Blaze pizza right now. Look at this effort. I mean, all around, we've got Stepinac guys hanging all over Gary Merrill. Chris, look at this play. Will Hart picks up this ball. Great ball security. They're pulling out his jersey. You're seeing the weight room right there, my friend. Great job.
57-yard touchdown. And that so much of that was that extra effort. The yak, they call it, right? Yards after catch by Will Hart. Incredible stuff. His second receiving touchdown. Fumble on the 2-point conversion. And then Merrill was stopped. But that's incredible touchdown. Yes, that's another fast fire touchdown from Blaze Pizza. At Blaze Pizza, it's the best place to grab a fast fire pizza made with delicious ingredients and 30-plus toppings to choose from. Salads, lemonades, and more. At Blaze Pizza, there's no wrong way to play. And I think a good play call right now is just get the ball to Will Hart and let him do the rest.
Yes. There's a, that was an incredible. I'm just thinking about that play. This is an incredible job by this kid. No giving up, leg drive, extension, Outstanding.
Well, we were on to something, I think, when we said he was our impact player on the offensive side for St. Anthony's.
Seeing a slightly different configuration here from Stepinac, trying to get these deep guys the ball.
And, going back to Will Hart, this is a guy who a year ago missed all of last year due to injury. So he knows he's a senior. He knows his football career, his high school football career, is coming to an end, and he missed all of that year last year as a junior. So the Shoreham native making sure that he's getting his just due here as a senior.
That's very real on these seniors' minds. I used to tell the boys, I'm going to stick my hand out at the end of the season. You can shake it, but what I'm really looking for is your helmet. Make the time count.
Thomas taken down. And as you said, right now for Stepinac, Mason Hoover in his first year. More adversity for the Crusaders. And how do you respond to that? You're 0-4 to start the year. Now you're down 20-0 on the road at Cy Donnelly Field. But I was going to say, as you said, though, Kev, you said it perfectly. You can't get those 20 points back with one play.
No, and what the Stepinac coaching staff is so great at is tamping down the drama. The kids get excited, the kids get frustrated. They do a great job of managing the boys.
Spellman rounds Hoover. Handoff goes to Smith. Excuse me, that's Troy Baker, number 23.
And Dylan, Stepinac right now doesn't have to score 21 points in the next 4 minutes. Just one touchdown. One touchdown to get them back into this game.
Second and 7 for the Crusaders. And we're seeing Spellman motion all over the place. This time it's Hoover pushing forward to about the 35-yard line.
Great play by Mason. Great read off of that motion. Get St. Anthony's to extend themselves a little bit on the edge.
And Kev, like so many of these Stepinac players, Hoover, an honor roll kid, high academics, maybe a NESCAC future for him. 3rd and 3. Handoff up the middle. That's a big first down to get for Stepinac. As it was Baker, the first down maker.
Beautiful play. Beautiful play and a timely play. They needed that first down. Watch this. Right down the midline. No read. Just give it. Everybody's doubling up on the ball.
Good blocking. You mentioned his name before, Rodney Walker, the left guard. Junior, 6'2", 230. Spellman on the handoff, and the defense comes. You see the tackle there by John Drew, number 33.
Great move by Stepinac as well. They're using 2 backs because if they're going to keep running this ball, these guys are taking a beating here. Kind of spread it around, keep some fresh legs in the game.
Second and 8 for the Crusaders. Hoover, empty backfield. Slings it, has a man. It's complete to Eaton. Cuts it inside. And he's taken down inside the St. Anthony's 45-yard line.
McDonald with the first hit, but not before Stepinac picks up a first down.
Eaton, to this point, Kev, has maybe been the most reliable and steady receiver for the Crusaders through their first 4.5 games.
Very strong hands. A lot of pressure on that catch right there. Very strong hands, great ball security, and a heady move coming back to the ball.
Yeah, does a good job catching the ball in traffic, getting those yards after catch. Here's Spellman, the explosion in the space, and when you draw it up in the week leading up to the game, that's a play that you need to have for Cardinal Spellman.
And you know, Dylan, I'm not rooting for anybody in this game, but I'll tell you what, I love when kids come back. They drop the drama, they come back from the nonsense, and here they are moving the chains down the field. Great effort by the Stepinac Crusaders.
I said, of course, Cardinal Spellman. It was Zaire Spellman for Archbishop Stepinac. Another handoff. And again, this time it's Smith pushing forward.
They're getting a lot of yards on that duo play. They're getting a lot of great yards. Very popular college play right now. I'm actually surprised they're not running it a little bit more.
Well, look at the way they're going, too, right? They're going to the right side where you have Ethan Whitehead at right guard, 6'4", 276. And then DJ Williams, 6'3", 290, going to Boston College. Plenty of time. Hoover over the middle, incomplete. Oliveri was the intended target.
Kind of surprising, too, right there. Max may have the surest hands on this entire team, Max Oliveri. I don't think they'll come back to that play because he's going to bring that one down.
So we're inside the final minute, 54 seconds on the clock, 3rd and 6 for Stepinac.
Let's make some noise. It is 3rd down and 6 from the 25.
And a timeout is called, the first one of this first half by St. Anthony's. Kev, we take a look at some of our upcoming sportscasts here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. The big one, if you are in Farmingdale or Massapequa, one of the best rivalries around. That's going to be a fun one tomorrow afternoon. 2 o'clock, Carl Place in Lynbrook, a little boys and girls soccer doubleheader. We return to the pitch on Tuesday. Division, Belmore JFK, Bethpage, and Southside. And then Stepinac, Chaminade next Sunday. Hells East, Northport, and then Syosset, Oceanside, soccer under the lights. All of these games right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Myself, Brian Soper, will be on the call for Farmingdale, Massapequa. Always a game you circle between those two teams. And Buddy Krumanock, you mentioned before, career win number 300. Ironically, in the same weekend that Kevin Shippos got win number 100. Shippos said, I am not getting anywhere near 300. I'm not even considering it. Here we go, 3rd and 6. Hoover under pressure, and he's taken down.
Sacked by number 90, Daniel Garcia.
DJ Garcia, the junior from Lindenhurst, his 2nd sack of the year.
Huge play by DJ, and it's interesting here. Every time Stepinac has got something rolling on, St. Anthony's has had an answer.
Kosha in there as well. So now Stepinac, remember too, St. Anthony's gets the ball out of the halftime break. Oh, and this one is a defensive hold against St. Anthony's. So all that momentum you get from a sack, now it goes the other way.
Well, that's one of those flags that could change a lot of things here.
Yes, it moves the chains for the Crusaders. And Chris Atchison, he's going to wait. They're going to change the time. You saw it there at the bottom of your screen, the 45 seconds. In the red zone, Spellman in motion. Hoover rolls right. He goes up that sideline, and he dances out of bounds.
What a wall of blockers right there. Plenty of time, plenty of room and patience. Great decision by Mason to keep that ball.
Picked up about 5.
I often would say to the boys, take what God gives you. You know, it's all positive yards. Control the clock.
2nd and 5 from the 10-yard line. 34 seconds left as Hoover was able to get out of bounds, stop the clock. Crusaders desperately needing something positive here from this first half. Fumble! And St. Anthony's comes away.
Stepinac fumbled, recovered by the Friars. Flag on the play.
There is a flag, though, so that was Julian Ramos, looked like 15. We usually see him on the defensive side, but what's the call here from Chris Atchison? A dead ball personal foul, so St. Anthony's will get the ball as you see it again.
Boy, and they had something going on. Look at that depression they have in that blocking. You had plenty of space. Just very, very unfortunate for Stepinac.
And especially after the personal foul, there's no need for St. Anthony to do anything but take a knee here and go into the locker room with a 20-0 lead.
A lot of penalties this game, Dylan. A lot of things. I think both coaches are going to be talking about this to their kids. This is the part they got to clean up, and it's not just about today. It's about next week and the rest of the season. You can't go home with a trophy if you're going to get if you're getting penalties.
Well, Gary Merrill started things off with a 1-yard touchdown run, then 2 completions to Will Hart. 2 long touchdowns as well for Hart, and that's the difference right now. St. Anthony's with a 20-0 lead over Stepinac. We'll step aside here at halftime. We'll come back with some first half highlights. We'll show you this one a few more times, right? Will Hart.
Can't get tired of this play. Look at this kid.
Hart kept pumping and pounding into the end zone. Halftime from Cy Donnelly Field. St. Anthony's leads at 20-0 right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Move with the rhythm. Shake it up, stop when the clock hits 13. Sing 1, 2, 3, 4. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it.
After the Navy, I came home to marry my high school sweetheart and start a family. We've learned compromise is critical. Congress is no different. I'm Nick LaLotta. Taking on extremists in both parties, I've worked across the aisle to lower costs, restore our assault deduction, secure the border, end cashless bail, and empower Suffolk cops. That's why I'm ranked one of the most bipartisan members of Congress. I'm Nick LaLotta, and I approve this message. I'll keep fighting problems, not people, to make Long Island safe and affordable.
Varsity Media is now opening up our schedule to any teams looking to be on a sportscast. Watching yourself on camera is okay, but hearing your name on a Varsity Media sportscast is like you're a pro.
And look at this opportunity. Feldman behind. Jersey pulled. Feldman! Feldman!
Here comes the 1-0. Hit on the ground at first. Quinn's up with it. Feeds to Varela. It's a no-hitter! And Division's moving on. Nassau County AA champions.
As West barks out the signals. West is going to keep it himself inside the 5 to the goal line. Touchdown! Touchdown, Southside.
Varsity Media offers sportscast coverage for any sport, and our coverage airs live and on demand so everyone can watch the game. Now is the time to be a star on Varsity Media. Contact us to book a sportscast today at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net. Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is over 50,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck. For the latest news in high school sports, be sure to check out varsitymedia.net or follow us on social media at Varsity Media.
Hey parents, Varsity Media is now offering ISO video of just your athlete. Why settle for the wide angle that shows every player on the field? With our ISO video, your athlete is front and center the entire game. This footage will help in creating highlight videos for college coaches to better pinpoint your athlete's play on the field. Watching our video will help your athlete improve progressively throughout the season and may lead to a college scholarship. Varsity Media is now booking ISO videos for the fall, but spots are limited. Contact us today for football, soccer, field hockey, and volleyball by calling 516-403-2050 or emailing ben@varsitymedia.net. When it comes to live streaming, Varsity Media does it all. Athletic events, concerts, musicals, graduations, even weddings. Trust Varsity Media when it comes to your live stream event. Contact us today to learn more about Varsity Media's live streaming services at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships.
Hey parents, how about a bobblehead for your athlete? Bobbleheads are one of the most preferred personalized gift items today, and it's so easy to order. All you need is a photo of your athlete, a model number from our extensive collection of bobbleheads, and the sculpting process begins. 2 proofs are sent for your approval, and once it's approved, in a few weeks, your bobblehead is on the way. It's that simple. Order your bobblehead today by logging into varsitymediapass.com and click catalogs or call 516-403-2050.
Did you know Varsity Media now offers action photography for all sporting events? Available for individuals or teams, we'll send dedicated photographers down to field level to capture your best moments. Our rates are affordable and our photos will leave you with lasting memories for a lifetime. Contact us today, mention this ad, and get $25 off your first order. Email ben@varsitymedia.net or call 516-403-2050.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Move with the rhythm. Shake it up, stop when the clock hits 13. Sing 1, 2, 3, 4. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it.
After the Navy, I came home to marry my high school sweetheart and start a family. We've learned compromise is critical. Congress is no different. I'm Nick Lalota. Taking on extremists in both parties, I've worked across the aisle to lower costs, restore our assault deduction, secure the border, end cashless bail, and empower Suffolk cops. That's why I'm ranked one of the most bipartisan members of Congress. I'm Nick Lalota, and I approve this message. I'll keep fighting problems, not people, to make Long Island safe and affordable.
Varsity Media is now opening up our schedule to any teams looking to be on a sportscast. Watching yourself on camera is okay, but hearing your name on a Varsity Media sportscast is like you're a pro.
And look at this opportunity. Feldman behind. Jersey pulled. Feldman! Feldman!
Here comes the 1-0. Hit on the ground at first. Quinn's up with it. Feeds to Varela. It's a no-hitter. And Division's moving on. Nassau County AA champions.
As West barks out the signal. West is going to keep it himself inside the 5 to the goal line. Touchdown! Touchdown, Southside.
Varsity Media offers sportscast coverage for any sport, and our coverage airs live and on demand so everyone can watch the game. Now is the time to be a star on Varsity Media. Contact us to book a sportscast today at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net. Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is over 50,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck. For the latest news in high school sports, be sure to check out varsitymedia.net or follow us on social media at Varsity Media.
Hey parents, Varsity Media is now offering ISO video of just your athlete. Why settle for the wide angle that shows every player on the field? With our ISO video, your athlete is front and center the entire game. This footage will help in creating highlight videos for college coaches to better pinpoint your athlete's play on the field. Watching our video will help your athlete improve progressively throughout the season and may lead to a college scholarship. Varsity Media is now booking ISO videos for the fall, but spots are limited. Contact us today for football, soccer, field hockey, and volleyball by calling 516-403-2050 or emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
Halftime festivities still ongoing here at St. Anthony's, and the fans here, they've got a lot to cheer about as the Friars with a 20-0 lead over Archbishop Stepinac in this CHSFL AAA Division League contest. Dylan Butler, Kevin Dolan here with you, and Kev, you know, it was the first half that if you're a Friar fan, right, you want to rinse and repeat. And you mentioned Stepinac, and I think off air you said how difficult it is to get to the locker room. They didn't even bother. They're in the end zone right now, just trying to piece things together to come back in the second half.
Sometimes in the Catholic League, there's so much traveling that you can leave your game on the bus. And I had said this to you earlier, that they didn't come out with the energy that they needed in that half. St. Anthony's came out on fire. They came out on fire. There's things that they're fixing in that locker room right now with Coach Minucci, but they came out with energy. Right now for Stepinac, they're over there in that end zone. They're having that come to Jesus moment right now. Who do we want to be? It's not even about winning the game right now, which they can. But it's not about winning the game. It's about coming out and being the football team that they've been thinking about these last 9 months.
Let's take a look at some of the first half highlights. It started right away. First quarter, and Gary Merrill get right behind Ryan McNaughton, and he'll get that 1-yard touchdown run. The PAT was good, and the Friars jumped out to a 7-0 lead. And then the combination of Merrill and Hart was beating in a big way for the Friars in that first half.
This really is an incredible play, and not going back to the end anymore with Will Hart, but going back from Gary Merrill's standpoint. He has 4 options on this play that he's programming through his head. Very difficult play. That's big boy football. Beautiful job by all the players involved.
That was a 49-yard touchdown from Merrill to Hart, and then as if Will Hart didn't impress enough on his first touchdown, How about this one for 57 yards? And watch what he does. First, by making the catch, he catches it at the 35-yard line. And the rest is all effort.
The rest is all Hart right now. Will Hart.
And then the dive towards the pylon as well. 20-0 the lead for St. Anthony's here at halftime. And, you mentioned it before, Kevin. It's very interesting, and it was part of a conversation, too, that we had with Coach O'Donnell leading into it. Look, to go from White Plains to South Huntington, especially on a Friday night, is about as arduous a trip as you can make in this league.
Yep.
Right? So now it's decision time. Like, this isn't college where you go the night before, you have a walkthrough in the morning after breakfast, right? So you've got your classes. When do you leave campus? If you leave too late, now you're on the bus for 3 hours, and you don't want that guys coming right off the bus and get on the field. If you leave too early, now you may be out of place for 2 hours, and that's not good either.
One incredible night when I was at Chaminade, we played Monsignor Farrell, won in a barn burner of a game. 32 miles. We left for a 7 o'clock game. We left at 2 o'clock, and we got there at 5:45. It's part of being in this league. It's part of competing in this league. But like I was saying before, now Stepinac, they've got to reach down and they've got to answer that bell right now and turn this into a football game.
And St. Anthony's, as they make not quite as long a trek, but still a long trek from their locker room and that great indoor facility across the way to Cy Donnelly Field. What they want more than anything is more points on the scoreboard in their first drive, which they'll get the football coming out.
Anthony's right now is making a statement to the league. We're 2-2. Yeah, we lost to Chaminade early in the season. We lost to Don Bosco, a nationally ranked team. This is who we are. Now we're back in the league. Everybody, you've got to beat us.
And listen, when you look at the preseason and the early season results haven't shown you any different. Look, Cardinal Hayes, as a defending champion, returning so many players that they do, they're the favorite.
Yep.
Right? As much as they don't want to, they like to be the underdog. They can't be that this year after winning it. Iona Prep making it to the championship. They're right there as well. But who else is in that mix, right? And as you said, this is one of those games on the schedule that kind of dictates and maybe creates a little bit of separation from the top half to the second tier.
And this is a game going forward for St. Anthony's. If the score continues to stay as it is, St. Anthony's comes out of if they come out of this with a victory, this is going to resonate at the end of the season in those very important first-round seeding matchups.
That's one thing that Coach O.D. mentioned as well, right? If we can get a win against St. Anthony's and we already played the toughest teams that we're going to play on our schedule, maybe we can get a home game in the playoffs. And this is a program that you have to go back many years to see the last time they didn't make the Final Four in this league. So a tradition-rich, proud program up in White Plains is Stepinac.
Their problem right now, Stepinac, is trying to cool these engines on St. Anthony's. I've had a lot of experience with the St. Anthony's program, and once their engines get hot, they're hard to cool them down. The only way they're going to do that is scoring points.
And also getting a stop here on the first, and that's job one right now, is you get a stop for Stepinac, maybe get a 3 and out, and then you get the ball and you figure things out offensively. But what they cannot do certainly is suffer any more self-inflicted wounds, whether it's via penalties, whether it's fumbling the football. Those are true killers.
Yeah, and I think, for the coaches watching this game on both sides of this field, they were a little bit disappointed in their teams. Balls have been on the ground. You've seen some untimely penalties. You've seen some penalties that are avoidable. Dead ball, unsportsmanlike foul calls, things like that. They got to eliminate that stuff.
Here we go, Stepinac. They went 8-3, losing to Cardinal Hayes 29-25 in the semifinals. You mentioned Madu at Minnesota, Curd at Brown, Deontay Douglas, Central Connecticut, Got Eddie Palumbo up at Yale as well. 21 players currently playing on the next level from last year's team alone.
And as you mentioned earlier with the NESCACs, the academic level at Stepinac and at Anthony's is extremely high, and there are so many opportunities for these boys at the next level. We're reading them off now, but there are a number of schools at Division III level in the NESCACs, great educations, and these boys are playing great football.
So Stepinac, their guys are on the field, and the Friars will soon make their way out there as well for the start of this second half. 20-0 the lead for the Friars. We mentioned in the open trying to go back-to-back wins for the first time this season. Again, you start the season with a loss to Chaminade. You rebound against UPrep up in Rochester. You lose across the river at Don Bosco Prep, and then you win at Monsignor Farrell.
And if a victory tonight for St. Anthony's gets them out of that thinking, oh, I wish I had that game back. I wish I had the Chaminade game back. I wish I had Bosco back. You can't think that way. You got to keep moving forward. You got to stay positive, and you got to keep winning games.
So Sapasaris to kick. He was a bright spot in the first half for the Crusaders. More deep for the Friars.
Friars to kick off.
He'd love nothing more than to put that ball into the end zone. A line drive of a kick. It takes a bounce. It's fielded by Moore at the 10, up the sideline. Look at Moore. Cuts it upfield. Kevin Moore. He started at the 10-yard line. And Moore finally taken down inside the 20.
Finally tripped up by Austin. Great return and good starting field position for the Friars.
Boy, this was not a bad situation for Stepinac. You've got them trapped into the sideline, but look at this reversal of the field. Great effort by Kieran Austin. Hunting him down. Saved the touchdown right there.
So St. Anthony's already in the red zone on their first play from scrimmage now in the second half. Merrill hands off. Xavier Abala gets a stiff arm going. Still turns it upfield. Good pursuit by multiple Crusaders, but Bala's still able to get a couple yards.
Beautiful run right here. You know, he doesn't have a lot going on initially in this play, so he shows patience. He stretches it out. Turns it into 2nd and 3.
And Xavier Bala feeling it a little bit. Takes a knee, and he'll get looked at. We mentioned before, 6 foot 210 out of Baldwin. Xavier Bala got a few touches a year ago and he wasn't the main guy last year, but he is now the guy as a sophomore. And think about that, too. Seeing a lot of time as a freshman at St. Anthony's, there's not too many who have said that.
Boy, when he was on the junior high at Baldwin, we were getting phone calls over at Chaminade. Take a look at this kid. Take a look at this kid. He's a real player, and he is. Tough, fast. And the other thing about Bala is he understands football. It's a very important touchdown for St. Anthony's right here. If they can put this in, and I'm just looking at this young man limping off the field, they can start to think about pulling a few guys out of this game, getting some kids on, make sure we don't get anybody hurt.
Who would have thought that could have been the situation?
No.
When it's Stepinac and St. Anthony's. Here's Merrill calling his own number. Merrill forced out just about the 10-yard line. Merrill, we said it before, as he moves the chains there. 35-27 last week against Monsignor Farrell. How about this for Gary Merrill? 16 of 24 for 226 and 2 touchdowns. 27 carries for 168 and 3 scores.
He's a different player from week 1.
First and goal from the 9, Merrill. Pulled down from behind.
I'll tell you what, though, you think about that score, it reminds us of something else in this league. How good is Monsignor Farrell?
They're right there, too.
Coach Rock, Coach Rock's got them rocking and rolling. They're ready to play.
Second and goal.
And they would argue on Staten Island, maybe the Lions Den is the premier venue on a Friday night. Here's Merrill up the middle. Merrill gets the push towards the end zone. Touchdown, St. Anthony's. Gary Merrill, his second rushing touchdown. This one, a 9-yard score.
This is an example, you watch this here, of an offensive line just taking over the game. We got great contacts. They're continuing to move their feet. The entire defensive line standing there in the end zone. Great job by St. Anthony's.
So the Friars extend their lead. Gary Merrill's got 2 rushing touchdowns and 2 passing touchdowns. As the PAT is up. And good, 27-0 for St. Anthony's. And we mentioned before, Kev, about some guys playing on the next level. Let's take a look at some of those. First, for the Friars. And, there's a bit of a pipeline, right, from South Huntington to New Brunswick and Piscataway. Ian Strong, KJ Duff, both playing for the Scarlet Knights. Dante Torres up at Harvard. Jaden Platt, William & Mary, and Kenyon Miles at Villanova.
Well, if I didn't have PTSD showing up here at St. Anthony's before, looking at this lineup, it's coming back to me right now. These were some football players.
So those are St. Anthony's, and how about these guys for Stepinac, right? Johnny Cornelius at Oregon. Ball State, Sean Harris, Rhode Island. We mentioned before Madhu and Currid as well, Minnesota and Brown.
I always think of Will Currid. Not only was he an outstanding technical quarterback, but I had never seen a quarterback get hit the way this kid got hit against Iona. Goes down, comes to the sideline, back in the next play. Tough.
That's one of the favorite things, I think, for any high school coach is you get to see your guys. You play on a Friday night, you get Saturday afternoon. Let's see who's where can we watch them. Thankfully, there's so many different networks to do so. Look at this run up the middle after this. Forget about it. Oh, what a grab from behind. That looked like a sure 6 points, and that shows you the speed from Garcia. Blowing up the middle, and that was a touchdown-saving tackle.
I wasn't sure how prudent St. Anthony's was being early in the game with the short kicks, but this is the reason why. Coach Minucci knows his business. He knows what he's doing. You don't want that kid handling the football. That was some explosion by Emmanuel Garcia.
And also, how about Anthony Sanchez catching him from behind?
Beautiful play.
But Garcia, one of those electric young players that Stepinac is so high on. He's actually a young senior, but another Honors Academy guy, part of that 4x400 team, and another big run. So maybe some momentum now. John Smith gets a big chunk of yards.
And you know what? It goes to show you, Coach O'Donnell and his staff, they didn't go down there to that end zone to talk about the time of day. They went down there to scheme and to coach up their kids, and this is what they come out with on first down.
And now a touchdown.
Oh, boy.
For Stepinac. John Smith gets in for a 23-yard score.
Well, that's the soul searching we were talking about. Just a simple dive option. Stepinac gets a hat on a hat. Beautiful downfield block by Jordan Eden. Keeps his hands inside, no holding. Good things happen.
So the PAT attempt. And that does not go as planned for the Crusaders. That touchdown, another fast-fired touchdown from Blaze Pizza. You could swing by your local Blaze Pizza or by ordering online or over the phone, and they'll be ready to fire up your perfect pizza for delivery or choose to pick up your order in store. And John Smith, with that speed, he can get that fast-fire pizza.
Oh, he can. He can. And you know what? Once again, you know, they get together. They say, boys, let's stop the drama. Let's scheme this up. Run good, solid, simple plays. Well, let's see how St. Anthony's responds, Dylan.
John Smith, first rushing touchdown of the year, 5'7", 157. One of those slippery, smaller guys, just a junior.
And you know what he represents, Dylan? He represents those kids standing on the sideline, waiting their turn, want to make their name known, and say, Coach, this is why maybe I should be playing a little bit more, getting some more carries. These are the things you learn in these games. I'm not expecting an onside kick here or anything like that. I think Stepinac right now still needs to play position, field position football. But who knows?
I like that you. I like you couch it though. You put it out into the universe, just in case.
Just in case.
Well, this one is a bouncer. It's fielded at about the 20. And it was Will Hart on the return team. So St. Anthony's will start on their own 31-yard line.
All right, next trick for Stepinac, something they haven't been able to do tonight. They've got to get a stop.
Well, contain Gary Merrill was job number one on those keys that you mentioned before the start of the game. Obviously easier said than done.
It's interesting what Stepinac is doing defensively now. They're really dropping off these receivers a little bit more. And the reason they're doing that is they're slowing up, trying to slow up some of Gary's reads on these RPOs. These second-level reads.
Thomas Valdini in as running back. Over the middle, Merrill. That's incomplete.
That's kind of what I'm talking about right there. You know, you have a little more time to see that ball coming in, forces Gary to hold on to it a little bit longer.
It was Man Caruso, the intended target, and a good job by Hardy there.
Yeah, great job by Hardy. No pass interference, gets his arm inside, disrupts the pass.
Well, let's chance of defense now from the visiting fans who made their trek from White Plains. Here comes Merrill. Under pressure. Airs it out. Finds his favorite target in Hart. And what does Hart do? Move the chains.
Move the chains.
Every reception, it feels like, is a big occasion when it's Will Hart.
Boy, he's had some night tonight. If it was up to him, he'd play a few extra quarters in this game.
Again, he's playing catch-up, right? Missing all of his junior year.
Yeah. Enjoying every second that his senior year has for him.
Merrill airs it out. Nice cut inside because there were defenders coming at man Caruso, who gets it to the 50-yard line.
It's a tough play for both sides of the ball. These little tunnel screens, these little jailbreak screens. You know, there's a lot of time and space out there, but at the same time, offense, it's the ball. It takes time for that ball to travel that distance.
Merrill fakes the handoff, and he ends up bouncing one towards Johnny Russo.
Intended for Russo. Williams on the coverage.
So another third down, and they converted in a big way.
Let's see if Will Hart's number comes up again, Dylan.
Look out, they're coming towards Merrill. Eludes some tackles, and Gary Merrill does it himself. And that's why we said before, it's easier said than done. How do you contain a guy who's maybe at his most dangerous when he's out of the pocket, when there is chaos?
Yeah, and earlier in this game, going back to Will Hart, the same guy is making high-level secondary reads on these RPOs. It's just too many things to defend.
Merrill again. Pushes forward. Gets about 7 on first down. There's an injured Crusader on the play, so it's an official's timeout. This a special night here at St. Anthony's. It's a pink out with the students as they also had a moment of silence before the start of the game for Bella Trezza, the St. John the Baptist student who sadly lost her life in that tragic accident. And also the players for St. Anthony's honoring one of their own as well, a baseball player, Anthony Pagliuca, who was also injured in that accident. So it's a situation there. You see the stickers on the back of the helmet. It's a very sad situation, but certainly a great job by St. Anthony's and really all of the Catholic League to remember those and to honor them and also wish a speedy recovery for those involved.
It's a reminder to us to stay, in our darkest moments, we need each other. You need your teammates. You need your classmates.
And there's Merrill pushing forward. So we certainly wish Anthony a speedy recovery and return here. And we remember Bella, of course, as well, and condolences and prayers to her friends and family. First and 10 for the Friars. Merrill airs it out. It's a jump ball, tipped, and nearly caught. And another great defensive play by Naeem Hardy, the junior. Listen, at 5'7", a little bit undersized, but he has that speed, good hitter as well, and you can see already 2 great pass defenses there.
And you can see in his body language, he refuses to be beat. He's accepting every challenge. He's out there fighting away for his team, doing the best he can. It's great effort by him.
Merrill finds a receiver.
Merrill's pass is complete.
And it is
Complete to Bala.
number 0.
For correction.
Kenner.
Complete to Kenner. And that's good.
Beautiful catch by Anthony Kenner. And you know what? I was crowing before about the Stepinac coaching staff, St. Anthony's coaching staff, outstanding group of professionals. Spreading this around. You're going to shut one thing off. We're going to look to the other side.
What a play fake by Merrill. goes towards the end zone, taken down. But another great play by Gary Merrill.
I'll tell you, every time, Coach Minucci's heart's got to be in his throat every time he sees Gary taking collisions. But this young man, he loves it. He loves the physicality. He loves getting his shoulders and his helmet into this play. Oh.
Definitely some movement on that one.
Been there, done that, Dylan.
And if you're in the coaching office there at UNC, right, at football, you're like knocking on the lax door, like, listen, he's pretty athletic. You guys don't do much in the fall. I know you have your fall ball going, but
and it's so hard to do. I've had so many players over the years ask me about playing two sports. What do you think about it? And oftentimes my response is, follow your heart, do what you want.
Well, the Friars have followed Will Hart.
Yeah.
In this one, that was an incomplete pass.
But I'll finish it off with, just remember what you're giving up. When you're a college athlete, when you're a high school athlete, you're not a normal student. You're doing something different. You're spending a tremendous amount of time, a lot of sacrifice, a lot of effort. There is an aspect of college that, you should be able to experience it. The social life, the fun. Playing two sports is not for everybody.
We do see a lot of those guys kind of in their graduate year go on and play.
Yes.
They'll finish up with one and then play that other sport. Merrill, plenty of time, goes end zone, and that is a touchdown for the Friars. Gianni Russo.
Touchdown scored by Gianni Russo. There is a flag on the play.
Boy, Gary Merrill, what a cool cat. He knows he's going to get drilled by 58, but he sits right in there. Beautiful pass. Great finish by Johnny.
There was a flag on the play. It was roughing the passer. But obviously the touchdown is good. Now they'll try to get the PAT as well. Mikey Riley is your holder. Nick Zenk, long snapper. And Michael Forrest. That penalty will be assessed on the kickoff. That PAT is up and good, and the Friars have extended their lead. 34-6 here, 5:01 left in the third. You're watching it all right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
The latest news in high school sports, be sure to check out varsitymedia.net or follow us on social media at Varsity Media.
Wait, oh my God!
Oh, hello, hi, how are you? All right. Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing? All right, I'm Ron. Oh, what's going on? How you doing, sir? How you doing? I'm Ron. Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Oh my God!
Oh, hello, hi, how are you? How you doing? Oh my God. I'm Ron, nice to meet you. Blaze right now is offering a large shareable pizza here with real ingredients. Not frozen, none of that frozen crust, all right? Right. So I want to show you some beautiful, unique toppings that we have. Artichoke, arugula. Wow. You like that type of stuff? That's for you, all right? Oh, no, I'm Ron. I don't know who LeBron is. Me and you take a selfie. Come on in. Hey, that's Ron. You tell your friends to take you to Blaze Pizza and tell them Ron sent you, okay? All right, put it there. I got it. You ever take Ron's hat? That's yours.
Oh my God.
So how does LeBron order his Blaze Pizza? Well, apparently what he wanted recently was a pizza with an outrageous 16 toppings. Yes, LeBron likes his pizza with shredded mozzarella. That's one. We need a ding, I think, after each of these. Parmesan, grilled chicken, turkey meatballs, banana peppers, cherry tomatoes, fresh basil, garlic, green peppers, Kalamata olives, red onions, spinach. I'm not done yet. LeBron still has more. Sea salt, oregano, arugula, and olive oil drizzle, all on top of high-rise dough. And, oh, by the way, spicy red sauce as well. And he did, by the way, add, because you need to be healthy, right? You're adding your side salad And how about a s'more pie for dessert? That's how he likes his pizza.
Dylan, I haven't eaten tonight. I'm going out with my friend Charlie up here, one of the great officials of the Catholic League and Section 8, and we're going to go find ourselves a Blaze Pizza, all right? Charlie's paying, all right? He's a wealthy man.
I mean, you can go to Bayshore. You can go to Hicksville. I'm not sure if LeBron will be there tonight, but you can get your fast fire pizza there, no doubt.
Well, there's that. You know, these are the plays earlier that we've seen Stepinac run. They've had some success with it.
Well, and if you're Stepinac and you're on that staff and you've been on both sides of this coin as a coach, you're looking for guys who are still looking to make plays, still looking to make an impact. Maybe it doesn't get you back here tonight, but positive plays can help you going forward and get out of this losing streak.
Yeah, the young man we saw earlier run that ball real deep for Stepinac. I mean, these are the guys that you're looking for to maybe be in starters for the next game. Put some energy into this game. The other thing, too, is you look at your quarterback out here, Mason. We need to find him some success. We need to get him to come out of this feeling a little bit better about himself, complete some passes, maybe some underneath stuff.
Another handoff. That's Jesse Osborne pushing forward.
The hard part about this league, Dylan, if you're looking at this from St. Anthony's point of view, when do you start pulling some kids? You know, you got to be careful pulling people too early and putting guys in that haven't had a lot of game experience. At the same time, you need to make sure you don't have any senseless injuries.
Well, you're still 3 and chains left in the third quarter, so
yeah,
that's why you're seeing so many of these starters still out on the field. As positive run by Troy Baker.
That's the young man I was referring to before, Troy. I'll tell you what, really impressed with some of the run style that we see from this young man. Gets his pads down, really moves his feet, great at the second level.
You have similar players, but different in John Smith and Troy Baker, 22 and 23. Both 5'7", but Baker about 20 pounds heavier. As Hoover over the middle, incomplete. Oliveri was the intended target. Kevin Moore again making his impact felt in that defensive secondary.
And I think earlier in the game, that's some of the things that hurt Stepinac when we saw that full house backfield in the goal line, and they handed the ball to Julian. That's Julian Ramos, who doesn't really handle the ball very much, and you know it's a skill. You know, it's not something that you can just start doing in the middle of a game, or you can go from practice.
So the Crusaders on 4th and 1 here will look to punt. Kevin Moore is deep in another really good punt. Sends Moore backwards to his own 29, and then good pursuit. There, we just literally mentioned his name, right? We've seen what he can do rushing the football, but Troy Baker in on the tackle.
He's making a statement. You know, I know it's 34-6. I made this long journey. I got all dressed up. I'm going to play this football game before I go home. That becomes contagious field leadership.
So St. Anthony's starting this drive with 2:31 left in the third quarter from their own 33-yard line. One thing we haven't seen, and I would suspect we won't for the rest of this game, is Xavier Bala, as we saw limped off the field, and that's one of those situations where at this point there is no reason to return him to the field.
No, this, you know, at the end of the day, tomorrow morning, this just becomes one more game. You know, one more game for both teams. They got a lot of big games on the schedule.
There's a look. That's Xavier Bala on the sideline. And I would suspect probably still trying to convince the coaches, right? Like, nah, coach, I'm good. I can still go in, as Caruso will get a first down.
On the carry, and that's good.
Yeah, the kids never see it the way we do. They're a pain.
Caruso, a guy on JV a year ago, another high-level lacrosse player, tough physical receiver as well.
Tell you, St. Anthony's lineman, Bryce Cianciulli, junior, big boy, 6'3", 265 from Oakdale. He's been doing a heck of a job out here. This is a kid, I've been watching him all night long, moves his feet, gets great hands on his blocks. He's been doing an outstanding job of pass blocking all night long.
In many ways, he is his brother's keeper. Brother Carson was a big part of that offensive line. We showed you Ian Strong and those guys. Well, you got to also have a really good offensive line. He was as well.
Ramos with the stop.
You're right, Bryce doing a great job.
3rd and 4 for the Friars.
6'3", 265 junior at right tackle.
There are a lot of big boys on this St. Anthony's offensive line. And even throughout this game, you're seeing these kids looking better and better every play.
Final few seconds here of the third quarter as Merrill.
From Merrill is incomplete.
That's an incomplete pass.
Intended for
Taylor, and that does it for the third quarter. 34-6 is your lead for St. Anthony's fourth quarter when we return right here. It's the Gary Merrill Show, as it is so often at Cy Donnelly Field.
This is Solomon Thomas with the New York Jets, and you're watching Varsity Media.
Move with the rhythm. Shake it up, stop when the clock hits 13. Sing 1, 2, 3, 4. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it.
After the Navy, I came home to marry my high school sweetheart and start a family. We've learned compromise is critical. Congress is no different. I'm Nick LaLotta. Taking on extremists in both parties, I've worked across the aisle to lower costs, restore our assault deduction, secure the border, end cashless bail, and empower Suffolk cops. That's why I'm ranked one of the most bipartisan members of Congress. I'm Nick LaLotta, and I approve this message. I'll keep fighting problems, not people, to make Long Island safe and affordable.
Back here at Cy Donnelly Field, Dylan Butler, Kevin Dolan, our entire Varsity Media crew with you. Friday Night Lights in South Huntington. It's all St. Anthony's. The Friars lead this one 34-6. No return on that punt. We mentioned before Bryce Cianciulli's brother, Carson Cianciulli, a defensive lineman at Ithaca right now in his sophomore season a year ago. Played in 12 games, 28 total tackles, 3.5 tackles for loss, and 1.5 sacks as well.
Well, Dylan, as a Cortland man and a former Cortland football player, it's hard for me to crow about Ithaca and anything. But in this case, I'll make an exception. Great football genetics, great football family. There's no doubt why this young man's playing at such a high level, and he's only a junior.
Yeah, you won't find any bad words that I'm going to say about the Cianciullis, mostly because, one, they're very big, and two, I'm in the same town, so I'm not going to – I'm Team Cianciulli here. Handoff for Stepinac. and Spellman with the carry. And it's interesting, again, Stepinac will go to 0-5, and that is such unfamiliar territory for these guys. And that's what's difficult. I think when you've got a program that year after year has the success they have, they're not used to this type of adversity, and even maybe trying not to make too big of a deal of it, right? Like, again, whatever you are in September, the goal is always to be better in November.
And that's the tough part. You know, I smashed my crystal ball about 20 years ago because it kept coming up wrong, and I would never second guess Mike O'Donnell, Coach O'Donnell, with his experience. But sometimes when you plan those heavy games, you know, with the idea that you're going to get better, they can blow up on you a little bit. They can beat you up a little bit. They can emotionally beat you down a little bit. I'm not putting Stepinac. I'm not putting Stepinac out of this season at all. You know, this is a team. What they need is what everybody needs. They need a win. They need some success, and when they get that, they're going to get fired up.
An eligible receiver downfield, and that's the thing too.
Eligible man downfield against Stepinac.
For Stepinac, and Coach O'Donnell said the schedule makers did us no favors, not so much with the non-league games, but then the league slate to start things off with Iona and with St. Anthony's back-to-back.
And the traveling, and it all adds up. You know, it all adds up on you. You know, on the flip side of this conversation, the team that's doing something tonight, St. Anthony's, they're making a statement to this league. I think after that loss to Chaminade, there were a lot of people running around saying, what's the deal with St. Anthony's? Are these guys any good or aren't they? Well, looks like they're pretty good. Big statement to the league.
As you said, what's the deal? I immediately hearken back to Seinfeld, right?
Yes.
And we will be in Seinfeld's hometown tomorrow afternoon as it's Massapequa and Farmingdale.
Big Section 8 game tomorrow.
End-over-end punt, and Moore will not return it. It'll be downs at the 50. Let Blaze Pizza cater your next pizza party, graduation celebration, or even on-site business meeting. Use that QR code on the screen. Simply put in your address at the top of the page to select the Blaze Pizza location nearest you, and we will do the rest. Ordering just got a whole lot easier with Blaze Pizza. Again, around here, we just saw at the bottom of your screen, you've got that Fresh Meadows location where we had our Catholic High School Football League preview show. Right there on 188th Street in Fresh Meadows, down the block from St. Francis Prep. They're in Hicksville. They're in Bayshore. I'm a St. John's guy, so I don't know why you'd want to go to Stores, but if you go up to Stores and go to UConn, a location there as well. Here's Man Caruso.
Pass complete to Man Caruso.
Tell you, Dylan, I spent 28 years coaching in the public schools, 8 in the CHSFL. It's both leagues are outstanding in their own way. This league, very, very interesting with its traditions and their rivalries and the traveling. It's exciting football.
With the first down run to the outside. It was Gary Merrill doing so. And I think right about now is probably, if you're able to, maybe start getting some subs in, unless you feel like you need to get one more score just to keep it safe.
Well, I have a feeling Coach Minucci's going to need security to get Gary off that field. He doesn't look like
There's a lot of them around you.
Yes,
on a Friday night.
They're going to need a bunch of them. He doesn't look like he's interested in going anywhere but the end zone.
It's those guys in the yellow jackets.
Ooh, what a hit.
Yeah, that's a guy who continues to play, Julian Ramos, number 15.
There's a tackle. Wow, look at this right here. Julian comes right through that slim gap. What a fit. Perfect tackle.
Julian Ramos, the senior Binghamton lacrosse commit, part of that high academics academy, the honors academy there, was named to that LoHUD Super 11 as one of the top players in Westchester.
St. Anthony's, with Gary, of course, have been having a lot of luck with this bootleg play.
Third down and 5 for the Friars.
3rd and 5 for St. Anthony's. And again, we'll flip the script. Motion on the offense as Chris Atchison will go to one of the most anticipated Section 8 games of the season in Nassau County. It's Farmingdale and Massapequa tomorrow afternoon, 2 o'clock. Always an entertaining one. A year ago, it was, and I love this call by Kevin Shippos. I'll get to that after this play, which will be a 3rd and 10 for the Friars. Handoff comes our way. Valdini fumbles the football, and Stepinac recovers.
Recovered by Stepinac.
But going back, first let's give some credit there to Elias Murray, number 58, for the fumble recovery. So it's Massapequa at Farmingdale a year ago. You go to overtime. Farmingdale gets the touchdown and the PAT. You know where I'm going with this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Massapequa gets the touchdown, and they go for 2. So I text Coach later on that night. I said, listen, I love that decision. Even if you didn't get it, I love the decision because you're putting so much on your guys that I've got so much confidence in you to get these yards when you need it. He said, honestly, I just wanted to go home. He said, we had 3 turnovers. We shouldn't have even been in that situation. He just want to get out of there.
Stepinac from the 27.
Gotta love it. Carry by Osborne. Not much there.
Tell you, Dylan, it's great to see. This last play, it's great to see Stepinac fighting. I've been watching and been involved with high school football for 36 years. I've watched a lot of teams quit. These boys are hanging in there. They're giving it the effort. They're giving this game the respect it deserves. A lot of kudos to them.
Andrew Thompson with that TFL. Thompson this week, usually that will linebacker. But again, because of some injuries up on the D-line. Spellman motioned out. Nice hole that opens up, and Osborne with the ball protection up the sideline and finally pushed out of bounds by Moore.
You see right before this play, DJ Williams, is Boston College commit, is jumping up and down, screaming for the ball to come to his side. What a block. What a seal by him. Beautiful play.
I think unfortunately, though, for the Crusaders, and it's been a recurring theme, this one will come back on a flag. Holding on the offense.
I don't know what the numbers are tonight, Dylan, but a lot of flags being thrown tonight. A lot of.
Richie DeMarco was in disbelief. The wide receiver, he was called for the hold.
2nd down and 9 from the 26.
Look out, Hoover under pressure, getting chased. Fires it far sideline. That's a heck of a grab.
Hoover's pass is complete.
And we mentioned his name before. You said he'd get one back. And
There it
Knox
is.
Oliveri does just that.
What a play. What a play. Mason, what a great job. He has to throw across his body on this, rolling out the other direction.
Got DJ Garcia chasing him.
Oh. Great concentration. Keep your feet down.
But then you follow it up with a high snap that Hoover had a catch on the bounce, and then he'll get hit for a loss.
It's just one of those nights.
So what was no doubt a long bus ride from White Plains here, we'll seem even longer on the return. Trips right for Stepinac. Hoover ducks under pressure. Over the middle. He did have a man, and it was DeMarco, but kind of bounced it to him. Incomplete. And going back, Kev, again to that Massapequa-Farmingdale thing. How about Farmingdale a year ago? So you lose that game at home by 1, and then your only other loss is a field goal at the buzzer in the semifinals at Hofstra to Syosset. 2 losses by what? 4 points, and that defines your season for Farmingdale.
Yeah, and they, we had scrimmaged that Farmingdale team earlier in the season, and what size, what speed that group had. Conference 1 football really was running the show last year. It's going to be a great game tomorrow. My prediction is not going to be high scoring. I think it's going to be a really tight affair.
At Farmingdale, their strength, as it often is, on the defensive side. The Chiefs last year, they went 12-0. First undefeated season since 1993, and that one was fumbled by Moore. A rare mistake by Kevin Moore. And the Crusaders have the football.
Picked up by Stepinac, so they will get the ball. First down, Crusaders.
Beautiful punt on this. For those of you out there who have never returned a punt, doing it under the lights is not easy. That ball disappears, it reappears right in front of you. Not an easy thing to do.
So Stepinac, can they capitalize on a turnover? The Friars certainly have tonight.
First and 10, Stepinac from the 36.
High snap, handoff goes to John Smith.
Smith on the carry.
And Smith, good extra effort, churning those legs.
Cozier with the stop.
Taken down inside the 30.
It's been the story of Stepinac's night tonight. They run some really great plays, very well executed, bodies on bodies, move the ball, and then it blows up. It just hasn't been their night.
Hoover airs it out, has a man downfield, and under throws to Jordan Eaton. And some frustration clearly for the Crusaders. Those were points on the board that were left with an incomplete pass.
And it's hard. It's hard for the kids. This is an emotional game. Everybody's trying their best to get something done. It's hard to control that frustration.
Hoover. Tough pass, and that was intercepted.
Picked off by number 24.
Danny Rooney.
Look at this play. Real 50-50 ball here. Danny muscles this out of his hands. Jordan's got a hold of it. Great play.
Danny Rooney, the freshly minted Maryland lacrosse commit. He's getting the love on the sideline.
You know, and for Mason Hoover, you know, you're a quarterback. You're down 34-6. You're trying to make something happen, so you're taking some chances with some very small windows. Good effort by that kid.
You know, Dad is certainly proud.
Leading on the carry. Ramos with the stop.
Tom Rooney, one of our analysts for lacrosse, did a bunch of football last year too, but suddenly Danny's now on the varsity. He's seeing time. He's like, I'm going to pass this baton. I'm going to be a dad here. And he gets to enjoy it from the stands. Second and 12.
There we go. St. Anthony's trying to burn a little bit of clock here.
Well, that's what you get as well. I feel like in the Catholic Football League as well is a high level of respect for your opponent, right? And
yeah. And you know what? It goes both ways. Like, you know, one of the things I had to get used to in the Catholic League is that there were occasionally some really high scores. But you didn't get people getting upset about running up scores and everything else. It was just playing football. And what the score was at the end of the game was either your win or your problem. And it's not just respect for each other, but it's respect for the game.
Injured Friar on that play and gives us a chance to, again, show you our upcoming SportsCast schedule. And as we mentioned, from Massapequa High School, Farmingdale and Massapequa tomorrow, 2 o'clock kickoff for that one. We also have a Carl Place Lynbrook girls and boys soccer doubleheader. I'll be on the call for Division Belmore JFK as well on Tuesday afternoon, followed by Bethpage Southside. Stepinac Chaminade's going to be an interesting one as well. Flyers playing some really good football. Hills East and Northport. And then Syosset and Oceanside. Another boys soccer game under the lights at Oceanside. We'll take a quick break and we'll return for the final 2:16 here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Navy, I came home to marry my high school sweetheart and start a family. We've learned compromise is critical. Congress is no different. I'm Nick Lalota. Taking on extremists in both parties, I've worked across the aisle to lower costs, restore our assault deduction, secure the border, end cashless bail, and empower Suffolk cops. That's why I'm ranked one of the most bipartisan members of Congress. I'm Nick Lalota, and I approve this message. I'll keep fighting problems, not people, to make Long Island safe and affordable.
Back here at Cy Donnelly Field, we wish Thomas Valdini a speedy recovery after that injury.
Makes you feel better watching him walk off the field here a little bit. You know, that looked like a scary injury a little earlier. Always nice to see the boys walking off on their own power.
So 3rd and 1 for the Friars.
3rd down and 1 for St. Anthony's from the 36.
They'll push forward and they'll get that first down.
And he'll pick up the first down.
And what St. Anthony's looking to do here, obviously, right down the stretch, just get the clock going and come out of here without any additional injuries and approach to 3 and 2.
Shake hands. Let's head home. Let's celebrate tonight, and then tomorrow it's back to work.
Fans when exiting tonight.
You know, you mentioned some of those games for next week, Dylan. That Chaminade-Stepinac game, also a big game. And as I was saying before, for St. Anthony's tonight, it's going to have a lot of effect on where the seedings are at the end of the season. Chaminade's looking at that as well in this game against St. Anthony's. Very, very important for them in terms of the playoffs.
And remember, too, what St. Anthony's has next week. They have a trip up to Wilmont Road in New Rochelle to take on Iona Prep. What a game that'll be as well.
It's a very tough place to play up there at Iona. sitting there in front of the big hill. They got all their fans over there looking over the top of you.
I was going to say, do you like that with the hill there, that look?
I hate going up there. I think Joe's a heck of a guy. He runs a great football program, but I can't honestly say I've ever enjoyed going up to Iona.
And it's funny that, not much of a press box, if you even want to call it that. Little shack they have, no seats. But listen, what they do have is a terrific winning program there in New Rochelle. So St. Anthony's, 34-6 victors over Archbishop Stepinac. The Crusaders, hard to believe, but they are 0-5 on the season. 0-2 in the league. Back-to-back losses to Iona and St. Anthony's. And the Friars, they're 3-2, and now they've won back-to-back games. They'll try to carry that momentum with them on their trip to take on Iona next Saturday.
Congratulations, tremendous respect for St. Anthony's. This was a statement night for them. They made a statement to this league. You were wondering what's going on at St. Anthony's? Well, now you know. We're here, and we're going to be hanging around for a while.
So 34-6 is your final score. St. Anthony's on this Friday night in South Huntington are victorious. So that'll do it here for us, or from us here at the Varsity Media Sports Network. I want to thank our entire crew here for this one. Our executive producer, Ben Turchin. Our technical director is Chris Sweeney. It's Kevin Catalanato, who will have a big rooting interest in that Farmingdale and Massapequa game tomorrow, along with Tony DeMasso, bringing you all those great moving images from our broadcast partner, Kevin Dolan. Dylan Butler, thanking you for joining us from Cy Donnelly Field. We look forward to seeing you next time on the Varsity Media Sports Network.